Everyone, welcome back to the Mason Cox Show. Now, this episode is one of the biggest of the year. We've got the 2022 wrap up, the Christmas special. I'm dressed up as Will Ferrell's elf. We've got Braden here as Santa. There's so much we got to go through. We've got Kim K. Kim K has just been a massive, massive part of this podcast. And who else? Kanye West. Who would have actually pictured that? He's back in the news. We've got plenty going on. We got the footy chat. We've got the dating life, and we've got the best of Florida Man. We're a big Florida Man fan on this podcast. We've got the best stuff coming up with Braden. Definitely got something to look forward to in that. But seriously, it's one of the biggest episodes of the year. We're going to go on holiday for 2 months, but we're going to come back in 2023, bigger, better than ever. And why is that? Because we have a massive, massive announcement at the end of this, which I'm so stoked to share with all of our audience. It's going to be something that's going to take this to the next level, the absolute next level. And as Elon Musk would say, to the moon. We're going to the moon. But without further ado, we'll get into it. The 2022 end of the year wrap-up Christmas special starts now. All right, everyone, it is the last episode of 2022. Jeez, that sounds weird saying. It's almost 2023, but without further ado, Brighton, it is so good. I mean, we've had an epic season for our first season, man, and we finally made it to the finish line. Believe me, there is more to come for sure. But give me a bit of what you're thinking right now. It's all coming to a head.
What on earth are you wearing? You look like an absolute idiot.
Oh, dead sexy is the word you're looking for. I'm questioning you. Now, you've got the white beard with the brown mustache. Now, I'm not really, it's a bit imposing, I think. I'm not really 100% sure if I was a 5-year-old kid, if I believe that you're actual Santa Claus, but yeah, maybe. If you don't understand what we're talking about, check out on socials and put up some photos, some pretty funny outfits we're wearing for the Christmas special. I'm Elf, he's Santa Claus. How we got into this predicament, I'm still not sure. Would
you believe that this beard is extremely itchy?
You can take it off, mate. You've got the photo, everything else, but it's a sweat box in here at the moment. We are absolutely just covered in felt, enjoying it. But it is the Christmas special, everyone. So I want to say a massive thank you for tuning in. But without further ado, we're going to get into plenty of stuff here. As we had mentioned before, there's plenty going on and plenty of things to jump into. But we'll start off with a bit of a footy chat, and we're going to go back into a back end footy chat also. So it's a bit of front and back end.
Wait, before we jump into this, I've got a bit of a surprise, because you can't really have a Christmas episode without a couple of beverages.
I'm training, by the way, Braden, so hopefully non-alc?
No, this is good for you.
Okay, yeah.
Well, questionably good for you. Down here.
Oh, good Lord.
Got the
eggnog.
Got the eggnog.
Oh, it's original from Paul's.
Yeah, original from Paul's. I was wondering if this, I don't know if I've had eggnog. I've had egg flip from Big M, which I don't know what that is.
Now, we've done a few things of my first Australian experience, whether it be fairy bread with a pound of butter. We did that earlier in the season, and believe me, that was a bit of a question mark. So maybe it's time to reverse the tables and, have you have a first experience of what eggnog is. Now, it doesn't sound delicious. I'll be honest. Whoever came up with the name eggnog doesn't sound like something I would really be entertaining whenever it comes to a delicious drink per se. But
let me get this on camera. You got to do label out.
We're really looking for a bit of a. Oh, it's thick.
Oh, is that
real thick?
Is that just custard? Is that basically what eggnog is?
Liquid custard. I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a try. I don't think I'll be pouring as big of a glass as you, but
I was mindful that you knock over every drink that we've ever had in here.
I've spilt a few drinks in this van. It smells a bit interesting. I don't know.
I didn't go the smell test. Have a sip. Let me know what you think.
It's aged. 2018. Good year. Good year. Jeez.
I don't think you want eggnog from 2018.
Yeah. That's a valid point. Okay. All right. Well, let's cheers to to the first season. It's been a hell of a ride, mate, and excited for the next one.
Cheers. Well, that's actually really nice.
He's gone double dipped. He's gone for a second. The beard's okay.
That's good.
There's a bit on the mustache. We'll let it slide.
I'm taking this off. All right, let's jump into the footy chat. We had the controversial dropping of the fixture during the Australian World Cup game. Personally, I couldn't give a shit. but have you had it? No, it's just is it just round one or was it the
just
full
round
thing?
One? It was really just a show. So it's kind of like your ex-girlfriend putting up a photo, saying they're doing well or starting a new company or just, maybe start dating someone new. And, the ex-boyfriend comes back and, puts up a photo with them dating someone else. So it was really just I don't even know how to describe it. It was kind of embarrassing, I thought. I mean, it's 6 a.m., it's an Australian team, national team. It's probably going as far as, they've probably ever done. And, it was their moment to shine. The AFL just comes out there and says, we want a chunk of this. We want a little bit of this love. We need a little bit of this love. So it wasn't like, okay, the game started at 6. Now, AFL literally released it at 6 a.m. on the dot. So it wasn't like, the game's over, we'll release it, or it's a little pregame. It was literally smack dab at 6 a.m. in the morning. The AFL decided, no. You are not the king of Australia here. AFL is the king of Australia. And it was an interesting choice to say the least. I mean, we're playing Geelong round one, so I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be a crazy good game. But the way they put it out, literally the same day, same time as the Australian national team playing the World Cup against Argentina, Lionel Messi may be playing his last game ever, but as we know, unfortunately, the Aussies got knocked out. There's a very, I'll give it to them. It was a valiant effort. They definitely put up a fight, and some might even say they had a chance to at least tie the game if it wasn't for some unfortunate circumstances. But it was interesting, though. I mean, they opened up Amy Park. Fed Square, I think, maybe got a bit too crazy whenever they ended up playing their last game, making it into the next round, and the chaos scenes of Fed Square that day with the flares, everything else was so cool to witness. It was just like something where I guess soccer's probably not the number one sport in Melbourne whenever it comes to supporter base, but to see that many people get around a national team in the World Cup, it comes every 4 years, and something that Australia probably isn't, let's say, well known for in the sense of global sporting recognition. It was cool to see how just gun-ho Australians got for that game, and they showed out for the next game against Argentina. Unfortunately, didn't win that one. And it's a credit to Messi and everyone else, and it's one of those things now. I just hope he wins the whole thing. I hope Messi wins. He goes out on a high. It's his last kind of World Cup he does, and he gets all the credit he deserves.
There was a bunch of Aussie players that were lining up after the game to get photos with Messi. I mean, it's pretty cool.
It's a bunch of A-League players essentially playing Lionel Messi. It's like the dream team back in the Olympics with Michael Jordan and everything else. They would stay after just to take photos and get autographs with them whenever they just smashed them in a game beforehand.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Getting back into footy, because we went from footy to football. You returned to training recently. Yeah. How's the rig? You feeling fit? Did you just slot straight back in? Or?
Oh, always, Braden. You know me. The big fella just slots right back in. No, it was interesting. I mean, I've come off essentially a groin injury from the last game, so still kind of sorting through that. But yeah, I've been pretty much able to do everything, so it's been good to kind of get back out there to see everyone. We've got that many new faces and names and everything else. I'm really struggling at times to be running around, catch the back of someone's head and know exactly who that is sometimes. So no, learning the names, learning some new people in the admin side and the coaches side and everything else, which has been awesome. So it's been an enjoyable time getting back. It kind of reminds you how much changes in a year, and now I'm into my 9th year, so I've seen quite a bit of coming and going whenever it comes to people. So it's kind of reminds you how fortunate you are to still be in the position you are.
Do you talk to the draftees, or do you make them sweat it out a bit before you even notice that they exist? Or do you?
No, as soon as they get drafted, send a message, say, mate, if you need anything, let me know. You're family now, essentially, and whatever I can help you with, just feel free to ask, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
The whole show, they're all there. All the new guys, everyone?
Not everyone. Well, I don't think Pendles has to be in until January, so some of the older fellas don't need to come back, which I don't get. Because I was talking to Pendles the other day. I said, mate, where's my, I'm almost as old as you, mate. Where's my chop out? Why is it that I have to come back early, and you get to sit off here and just, enjoy a few extra weeks of holidays, and I'm back here grinding again.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's there day one with
No, he's probably there still more than I am. To be honest with you, he's an ultimate professional, as everyone knows. But no, it's good to have everyone back, and even the older boys that don't have to be back are definitely coming back. So it's probably a good sign of our culture at the moment.
So we had Peter Bowl, old P Bowl, on the podcast, and we talked about the running challenge. 2K, have you done it yet?
No, the older boys didn't have to do it yet. It might be on Friday. I'm not really 100% sure, so I'm a bit nervous. It sometimes just pops up out of the blue, and he goes, all right, boys, we're going to run 2K. And you're like, oh, come on, mate. But no, I haven't ran it yet, so I'm still yet to tick that box and find out exactly. So there's a 2K time trial. I feel like it doesn't really matter as far as time. The time is essentially to tell them whether or not you're extremely out of shape or just a little bit out of shape. Right. And I always tell the boys, I said, look, you'll be all right as long as you're in front of me. If you're behind me, believe me, you've got a bit of work to do. So that's my advice to any person that comes into the club, any of the traded players or any of the guys that are new draftees. I always say, if you're behind me, believe me, you've got a bit of work to do.
So Jacob Ryan, is he a draftee?
Mate, Jacob Ryan, I'm telling you, this man,
this
he reminds me of Joe Dirt. Now, have you ever seen Joe Dirt, the movie? You can imagine. He is the mullet 101. And Jacob's got this thing, and it is flowing. This thing is flowing. If there's one person you're definitely not going to forget on the team whenever it comes to a haircut, it's going to be this kid. Now, this kid, I'm telling you, he's got the most luscious locks I've ever seen. I'm pretty jealous of it, to be honest. I made a bet in the offseason that I would actually grow a mullet this year, so I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I want to do that. But I just don't think I'll stack up next to this guy. And we'll put it up on the socials, a photo of him, because he's just an absolute, he's like Fabio, I feel like, Fabio's just got the blonde locks just flowing back, and it's kind of funny because it's like, I won't forget his name. I'll know exactly whenever I see the back of his head exactly who I'm talking to. It'd be Jacob for sure. So credit to him. I think he might be up there pushing for the best mullet in the league. Against I think Sam Draper's probably number one at the moment, but I think he might be a close second. He's pushing it, I think.
We have the water cooler chat coming up. Last water cooler chat for the year, so it's got to be a big one.
It's gonna be a big one. You wouldn't believe who's gonna be on the water cooler chat. Yay! Kanye has made once again another appearance. The man seems to be in the media more than anyone else in the world right now for all the wrong reasons. Now, Kanye has gone to Alex Jones show. Now, I'll let you kind of figure out some of the details and stuff, right? Maybe you might know a little bit more about this, but he has gone on, thrown some absolute obscenities on this thing. And it's just one of those, you just wonder now, have we gone to the point where we just maybe turn it off, just flick the switch and say, it's just, he's out of his mind.
I'm saying it now, Kanye's done. Like you can't.
Whoa, huge statement by you. That's a hot take.
Well, it's nowhere near as huge as any of Kanye's statements.
That's very true, actually.
You can't come back from that. There was, he's obviously got his issues, but now he's just rebelling further and further. Like, I think he's really going down the road of like, you should be able to say anything you want because of freedom of speech, but it's just not true. Like you can't, represent companies. Yeah, he's still running for president in 2024. Like you can't run a country and say that you love Hitler and that the Nazis got the bad end of the stick. It's like, nah, he's gone too far.
He's got an opinion, don't get me wrong. And he was welcomed back to Twitter recently. Now, Elon Musk obviously is kind of now the owner of Twitter. And he's opened it back up to people. And Kanye West, who was one of the people he's brought back on. But as with anything, Kanye was deleted essentially by Thursday. So he put up a swastika thing or something like that. Yeah. And Elon's just like, mate, I just literally let you back in. Why you got to do this? And he's just, yep. Thursday, back off. See you later.
I just don't know when because like a lot of people are being cancelled, like when or how he disappears, because a lot of people will still get him on their platforms to draw in numbers.
Yeah.
But it's whether people start getting banned for having him on their platforms and stuff. It's going to be really interesting, but good riddance. Like,
I think he needs 2 months holiday. I think he just shut it down shut it down for 2 months. Take the holiday. Wrap it up, come back, maybe do a little bit of psychological stuff, maybe go see a psych, maybe go see a bit of a rehab and stuff, and then come back and then work on trying to take away all the damage you just created from your career.
There are some concerning things. Like he's been seen like out in the streets, like no security guards and stuff. Like he's not, and he was telling people whatever happens to him and stuff. So people are thinking he's kind of like trying to fast track his own death type thing. Like
wild.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. It's concerning, but it's at the point that it's like no one can help him because he's just ignoring everyone. It's a bit of like that whole thing, if you tell someone they're a god and a genius and stuff their entire life, and then you try to give them advice, well, it's like, well, I'm a genius. It's like, why would I take advice from you?
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah, it's...
he's not beyond saving. Everyone, there's always ways of being able to go find help. We will say that. So there's got to be a way for him to be able to turn things around, be able to become mentally healthy again, hopefully. And just be able to stop doing these things, because I feel like, to be on the water cooler chat for all the wrong reasons every week is not where you want to be, Braden. It's not where you want to be.
He does feature quite often. Now, someone else that features quite often is Kim Kardashian. Is she in there?
Kim K. Oh, Kim Day. She's always in there. Big fan of Kim K. Now, Kim K recently has had to put in a restraining order. So
against Kanye, what's he done now?
Well, that's probably that. That's probably out there. But no, it's one of those things. I wanted to kind of gauge a bit of an idea of this, because we have these celebrities out there, and they're well known around the world. And at what point do we sit there and need to say, maybe like, we get all this media attention, we get these cameras on and everything else. Like, what is too much? What's too much? What's crossing the line? And one of these people definitely crossed the line. They said they were like kind of reading minds and telling Kim K what to say and stuff like that through some kind of inner telepathic or whatever it may be. And she's this guy showed up at her house, I think, with a few little of those American gifts called guns. And it's one of those things, I think, you obviously, whenever something like that happens, you have to really take action, because your security is actually, at risk. So she's actually had a restraining order against this person. I'm sure this guy's not the only person she's a restraining order against. But it is quite interesting that people go to these depths, with these celebrities and everything else, try to get their attention and try to be associated with them and everything else. And it's gone too far sometimes, It's like, I understand Kim K, beautiful lady, she's Pete Davidson's ex. We all know that's a very good, that's a very good stat line. But let's be honest, we have to give some people kind of some private life whatsoever.
Pete Davidson's like the more famous for being in a relationship. It's bizarre.
It is bizarre, but we're big Pete fans on this pod.
We are big Pete fans. And Pete's got a lot of fans. He's got a lot of fans.
I think he's got a lot of fans because Pete, I'll be honest, I don't think Pete's very attractive. And I feel like some people, this is a very, very big kind of question. And a lot of females I've asked, it's very 50-50. Some are like, he's super attractive. Other ones are like nothing going, right? And I think Pete just shows a bit of hope for people like us. Pete's just that person that says, you know what? You might be able to snag a supermodel. Just maybe, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Even in these kids?
Even these kids, I reckon we got the best chance here. If we show a little bit of personality on the other side, maybe they'll kind of forget what's in front of them.
Speaking of famous people that have had some stalkerish behavior, what's with Lady Gaga and a dog gets shot?
Yeah, Lady Gaga had some interesting stuff happening. Now, she loves animals, right? She's a big person into PETA and all that kind of stuff. And she recently had someone walking her dogs, obviously a dog walker. She probably can't be seen out in public because of things like this, stalkers and whatnot. And this person actually shot one of her dogs. Now, that's bad, don't get me wrong, but they also shot the dog walker. And I want to put this out there. There was 21 year sentence. But all the stuff I read was 21 year sentence for shooting a dog. No one actually mentioned the person who was also shot in the experience. And it was that led to the 21 years, obviously. It's assault, it's attempted murder. That's led to 21 years in jail for this person trying to essentially kill a dog walker of Lady Gaga's dog.
Surely most of it is the dog. Probably 20 years for shooting the dog. Can't be shooting a dog. And then 1 year for shooting the dog walker.
Can't be. I mean,
it's a dog. What did the dog do?
Oh, shoot. I got no idea what kind of dog it was, but hey, I can only imagine it's probably some kind of chihuahua or something as well.
No, it's, I saw it. I think it's some kind of bulldog.
A bulldog? Oof. I'm a big bulldog
And there was
fan.
two of them.
Oh,
yeah.
What happened to the other one? Still alive.
Didn't get shot.
Still alive. Still kicking.
Well, it didn't. Maybe the dog owed money or something.
Hey, as I always say on this pod, prayers up.
Yeah, prayers up.
Well,
everyone survived, right? Or the
dog didn't.
Oh,
no, I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure. I just
give him life. What the? I thought the dog lived.
I know, 21 years. Yeah. The guy's paying for it.
I'm going to hope that it was because you didn't do your research, and the dog's fine and well.
We've said this on the water cooler chat. We just provide the headlines. You have to really deep dive a bit further. We're just here for entertainment to bring it up. And then you know what? Your friends at work, they give you a little bit more information. And you look like the smart one that brought it up at work.
Now, have you got anything else for us? Or are we done?
I've got one more. I've got one more to end out the water cooler chat for the year. And it is one of the most interesting people in the world. Hugh Hefner, now RIP, prayers up. He has passed away. Now, Hugh Hefner, though, he's cut.
That's not funny, man. That's not funny.
Okay, well, Hugh Hefner's life, let's be honest. He's got Pete Davidson on steroids.
He had a very good run.
He had a great run for about 150 years. Now, he recently has had something of his go up on auction. It is in year 2000, the LA Lakers won the national championship in the NBA, right?
Oh, he was point guard, yeah?
He was not point guard. He would have been about 70 years old, I feel like. And for some reason, Hugh Hefner got a championship ring. Now, I'm just wondering, what did Hugh Hefner do with the LA Lakers to deserve what is a championship ring? Now, I'm not saying anything happened. I'm just putting it out there that he did get a championship ring, which is a very touted thing that only special people within the organization get. And Hugh Hefner, who is, I can only imagine, probably not the best basketball coach out there, was given one of these rings, which is now got up on auction. So it's raised a few questions. There is the era of Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, a few of these others. It raises a few questions is, how was he involved?
Have you seen his pick and roll? No, well, what are you insinuating?
He knows how to pick him.
What are you insinuating?
He does know how to pick him.
What did he do for the team?
I'm just saying, maybe he threw a few parties, back in those days, social media didn't exist, and essentially TVs and, camera phones and stuff was not a thing. So we're going to get away with a few more things. I'm not sure. It was Lamar Odom might have been part of that team too. I'm not really. We'll have to do a bit of more fact checking there. And we all know Lamar Odom. If you know NBA, he's got a few issues around his sex drive back then. So
he's got no issues around his sex drive. And know your role, play your role. If Hugh's coming in and just delivering for the team and they went all the way and won the ring, hey, give him one, I reckon.
Covered all the bases. You almost say went first, second, third, home run.
That's the same sport, yeah. That's the same sport. Same.
America. Same. Oh man, but that's essentially the last of the water cooler chat. Now, it is sad to see it go for 2022, but it is going to come back even bigger, even better in 2023. And we've got exciting news. I think we kind of alluded to it at the beginning of how this podcast is going to be beefed up, and it's going to be at the end. I want to kind of hold everyone out. It's going to be a little drop it here, drop it there, and then we're going to give you the full explanation, everything at the very end of this.
I've scrapped everything else except for Florida Man.
Wow. So we're doing very Florida Man on this.
We're doing all Florida Man. And we're doing the best of.
Oh!
So there's no bad takes in here. They're all bangers. So we're going
Florida, which provides the good. If you're a fan of the pod, we are a big Florida Man fans.
So let's start off with a nice innocent one.
Okay.
Naked man chases two strangers around a Chick-fil-A parking lot.
Oh, Chick-fil-A.
Is Chick-fil-A good? I never.
Mate, first thing I eat whenever I get home. Oh, and what the funny thing is? Naked man running around Chick-fil-A is about the most ironic thing because it's like the most religious organization you'll ever meet.
Really?
It's closed on Sundays. It's massive. It's huge around the world. It's the worst thing because Sundays, what is a Sunday? It's the hangover day. You want something healthy. You've woken up regretting everything you've done the night before. And you think, you know what? Maybe I can turn things around. I'll start getting my diet right. I'll stop drinking. I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A. It's quick. It's easy. It's healthy.
Chick-fil-A healthy?
It's closed. Sundays, it's closed. It's the most just annoying thing you could possibly imagine. It should be a crime. It really should be a crime back home.
Well, realistically, you should be going to church to repent for your sins from the Saturday.
Well, that's where everyone at Chick-fil-A probably is. Not me. I want some fast food burgers.
So a Palm Coast man stripped naked, chased two unwitting strangers around a Chick-fil-A parking lot, then yelled...
Go ahead. You got to get through this, bro. You got to get through it.
Then yelled for deputies to look at his genitals. And then he started yelling, "You're gay for looking at my penis." They fell for for it. They just walked right into it.
Didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming. He got him. I'm sure they were like, hey, tip of the hat, sir. You have a fantastic day. That was a good one.
Oh, you got us. There was no explanation given for his behavior. So normally there's you get a reason at the end. It's like they were on meth or something, but not Hatzel. It was just another day.
It's probably a late Saturday night. He was pissed off Chick-fil-A wasn't open.
Yeah.
Had to come back, make a scene.
LaBelle Senior High School prank goes too far.
LaBelle Senior High School. Shout out LaBelle.
LaBelle Senior High School students managed to send an email addressed to the entire faculty, staff, and students. And, well, I'll let you hear it straight from their own mouth.
It all started with this prank. It reads mandatory penis inspection. Yeah. And this prank was actually addressed to all students, staff, and faculty at LaBelle High School.
Mandatory penis inspection. Sent to the entire staff, all the students.
Male and female.
Yeah, so, I mean, when we did our mandatory penis inspections at my high school.
Physical?
Yeah, we just got a text. And it was just the principal, and he said, come to his house.
What? What?
No, that's a joke.
Wow. There is a lawsuit coming.
The LaBelle High School dean said students had to send an email to parents apologizing for the prank. So no harm, no foul, right?
Far out. Hey, credit. I mean, like, that's a bit of diving to get everyone's email and everything else to send out a bulk message to the whole school.
Yeah, I reckon there's an insider.
That's got to be an insider. Who's the inspector, I reckon?
He's the penis inspector.
Whoever's the penis inspector.
Yeah, there was.
I'm telling you, we had something similar. We called it a drug test. Funny enough, still getting those penis inspections.
Now we're into kind of sad, and this one would just piss me off. Failed drug test mistake sends woman to jail for months. So the mother of 4, who never broke the law, did nothing wrong, sat in jail for 5 months.
What?
Now, her name's Rebecca. Rebecca's perfect storm of hell started when she ran out of gas on the road. A Pasco County Sheriff's Office deputy pulled up behind her, but instead of helping her, like, why would you? He asked if he could search her car. And she said yes.
Okay.
He said, what are these? She said, they're vitamins. He said, they look like oxycodone. She said, well, they're not. He tested them. They came back positive for oxycodone. She went to jail.
Yeah.
Couldn't post the $5,000 bond.
Tough.
Stayed in there for 5 months until the husband could get $5,000 together.
Oof.
Now, I don't know what he's doing. But
it's really alone.
Rustle some
people out. Get some stuff sorted.
Rustle some coins together, mate. Your wife, the mother of your children, sitting in prison. I think you could get $5,000 together quicker than 5 months. Ask a friend. I don't know.
Maybe you enjoyed the 5 months. Who knows?
Yeah, he's like,
a bit quieter around the house.
On the phone to her. Yeah, it's coming together.
We're still sorting it.
Dot some I's, cross some T's. It'll be coming in the mail any day now. So she sits in there for 5 months. It takes 7 months for the lab results to come back.
7 months.
They come back negative and say they were just vitamins.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's just
tough. The bail thing blows my mind. Like, surely $5,000 you can figure out, first of all. The fact that the father of her children was just like, wait, so she's there for 5 months, stuck there, not allowed to come home, not allowed to bother me. Oh, yeah, this $5,000 is going to be real tough to get.
Super Bowl's coming up.
Super Bowl's coming.
Yeah, so she was understandably pretty flat. and that's, and you kind of, like, 7 months, the kids think that their mum is on oxys and sitting in prison. So, yeah, not good. And she might sue, but who knows?
She should. Yeah. For at least $5,000.
Hey, they sue over anything there. So now this one, this is a disclaimer. We don't condone this behavior. Can you just say that down the camera? We don't condone the next story. Just for legal reasons.
For legal reasons, we do not condone this next story.
One time, amateur MMA fighter arrested for head kicking swans in Florida.
What? Stick with us. Stick with us here.
Orlando, I'm crying already. Orlando police arrested 34-year-old Rocco Joseph.
Rocky's shitty stepbrother. It's Rocco. Oh, like Rocky. No.
No, Rocco. What are you doing, mate? Oh, just head kicking swans in the park. Police attended the scene after a caller had observed a man kicking animals throughout the park. We don't condone it.
This is terrible.
Mantella has been charged with 1 count of animal cruelty and was given a $1,000 bond. All right, so you think it's over?
Just Rocco's getting me.
What are you looking at, Swan?
Stop staring at me, Swan.
It's not Rocco's first run-in with police.
Who would have guessed?
Earlier in the month, he was arrested for trespassing at Walt Disney World. In March, he was arrested with attempted robbery and disorderly conduct after allegedly taking food from people's trays at McDonald's before threatening to rob a couple in a nearby parking lot. Oh, give me them nuggets.
Give me Rocco. Doing God's work.
Just the one-time amateur MMA fighter arrested for head kicking swans.
Lord.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I've got for you.
Oh, that's a great Florida man to end on. Far out. I just want to get a quick shout out. Florida man, thank you for providing the goods all year. I'm sure you'll provide plenty more. And the next 2 months or a month and a half before we come back on here, given the holiday season, I'm sure you'll have plenty for us to dissect into whenever we get back. But I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Thanks so much for listening in. That's one of our favorite parts of the pod. It's actually hilarious every single time. There's some ridiculous, wacky story coming out of there. But thanks so much. And we'll jump into the next thing. Now, people are interested, Braden. They've been wondering. I know. Even when I was back in the States, everyone was asking, what's going on with Braden's dating life? Give us an update. What's happening?
Well, if you can see the visual, you probably don't need to ask many questions. Fucking sitting here in a Santa suit. It's like 4,000 degrees. And this thing is just like a felt coffin. but not a lot of luck on the dating scene, surprisingly. I didn't do anything that I said I was going to do last week. I didn't delete any of the apps. I actually
still swiping through.
Well, that's a lie, and I'll give you a tip. Anyone on Bumble, you can get through all of Melbourne. If you try,
just say there's no options left. Is that essentially what it came up with?
It's the equivalent of the Netflix thing. That's like, are you sure? Are you still watching? You're awake?
Are you still watching?
Bro, keep playing. I'm trying to watch an entire series. When you keep swiping for long enough, it says you hit the end of the road, buddy. The saying, there's plenty of fish in the sea, but far out. you fish through the ocean here. But the little tip is, if you regularly delete your account and reinitiate it, start it again, that resets. Oh. And not only that, they give you a free boost for half an hour. And not only that, because they're trying to entice you in, you just get tons of matches. So I did that for the millionth time.
So how many times did you delete it and then reinstall the app, hoping for a better result?
I've done it a few times, but don't get me wrong. People out there that are discouraged, or maybe you're encouraged by you're like, I'm not so shit. Like... Look at Braden and Mason. They're fucking wearing felt suits. And, don't be discouraged. We got to, assess. It's preseason. We're back to the grind. We get through it. If it was a bit sunnier, it might be a bit easier. But, I got to figure that out. I won't get off the apps. I'll just keep swiping. Get that little bit of dopamine when you get the match. Give me a little self-esteem. Take me off the floor.
Booster.
And, I don't know. Maybe when we come back, might have a girlfriend, might have a wife.
Yeah, now that we're not going to take a few weeks off, you might have an opportunity to actually go on a day. Maybe, hey, this is 100%. From this, you have to commit to a few girls you've matched with on your dating apps. How about that?
So
you come back and we're going to give a full deep dive into how these dates went.
So instead of doing the podcast, I allocate the podcast time to dating.
Yeah, we still need to do some upgrading. Don't get me wrong, but I'll give you some more free time. We'll get a little break over Christmas, as everyone knows, and we'll be back bigger and better than ever, and we'll have plenty of dating stories that you've been on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll all be positive.
I'll be, you know what? It's all content, Braden.
Well,
It's all content.
the bad ones make the podcast. I can't be having good dates. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we'll go back into it. And I think a lot of people are asking this. It kind of goes into the fan questions also, which is the next segment. But a lot of people are asking, what are you looking forward to in the upcoming season, And what is going to be the highlights, hopefully, that you get, coming into it? And I think a lot of people have a bit of expectations around Collingwood Football Club at the moment, given the fact that we did so well last year whenever we were supposed to finish, last, I think everyone
I can
was
see
saying?
that. There's expectations around Collingwood anytime.
Every year, yeah. I mean, I came back, and I think the one thing I realized is, you come back and you realize there's 3 cameras there day one. You're like, okay, back into it. People are definitely interested in football, and it's the whole cycle starts again.
First year, Fly comes in. He's the prodigy. He brings all this hope and optimism, and everyone's like, culture's great. Now the expectation's there. There was no expectation before. None. Yeah. No one expected it to go the way that it did. Everyone attributed it to Fly, and now there's expectations.
I have a huge amount of belief in this team, a huge amount of belief in what we can do, and I think hopefully this year is one of those years that we can actually prove that. And you just never know. I mean, any years, there's a crapshoot with injuries and everything else. You just never know what the year is going to be able to provide. But I think where we're at right now, given the decisions we've made and the people we've brought in and some of the coaching staff and some of the players and everything else, we're in a very good position to start off the year, hopefully very strong. And I'm excited. It's an exciting time to be there. It really is. And, I think you talk about last year, there wasn't as much expectation. With this year, there will be. But I kind of like expectation. It means you're doing well.
So are you playing ruck or forward, or has that not been discussed yet?
I'll just play a bit of everything, Braden. I'm a utility.
Back pocket?
I think a utility is what they might call me.
Small forward?
Yeah, small forward.
Yeah.
I'm a good crummer, and you just haven't really seen me do it yet.
Move over, Guinea.
Great bench player too. No, it's I'll probably play a bit of ruck, bit forward. I think it would be a bit similar. Hopefully, I think we haven't had the conversation yet, but it'll be around the same as last year. I think with how we finished off and everything else. It's a formula that we're willing to tweak. Don't get me wrong, but we'll kind of see where it all lands.
How many games do you have until you hit 100?
Not 100% sure. I think it's 4 or 6.
You know exactly.
I actually don't. See, this is weird. I always find it weird y'all count games. But it is close, Braden. It's under 10. I know that because people keep reminding me. But it is close, which is on my mind. Don't get me wrong. It is on my mind because to play 100 games in the 46 is going to be pretty cool, hopefully, if it happens. But yeah, it's something. I think if it is 6, I think it almost lands on Anzac Day. So if it does land on Anzac Day, imagine it was first game Anzac Day, 50th game Anzac Day, and then 100th game Anzac Day.
Was 50th Anzac?
50 was Anzac Day, yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy, but I'm not going to look too far ahead. I'm going to, as I say, take it one step at a time, take it one day at a time. But no, hopefully if all goes well and it's successful and a good season, then hopefully I can get to 100.
It's just a few. You'll be able to knock it out, sure.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, Braden. I'm excited, and it's who would have thought? You met me day one coming into the club. You saw how shit I was. Couldn't see it. Couldn't kick a footy to save my life. Could not even handball. Couldn't kick a footy. Couldn't run a 2K time trial. I'll tell you that. I was shit house, and that is the true meaning of it.
Hey, it depends who you ask. If you can do that now.
Still question mark. Still very much question mark.
Oh, got him again.
But I will allude to other things, though, because there is some other interesting stuff that's going to happen this year with footy. Both of us are kind of starting up a little bit of a side project, you could say, trying to bring AFL to the United States and trying a bit of, we'll dive into more details, and you'll definitely see it in the next couple months. But there's going to be some exciting stuff to help Americans get on board, and it's really something I'm very passionate about. I think whenever I come to post career, and just being able to spread the game that I think is one of the greatest games in the world to the rest of the world.
What would be your hope? What happens? Americans start liking it, or just?
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the biggest entertainment, countries in the world. You look at us, and you look in the last 5-10 years, and you see how much the NBA and NFL and everything else has grown over here with the ability to have access to it through, the internet. And I think that's something that definitely can be reversed. And I think people in America definitely, get on board, download the, watch AFL app or whatever it is, the same as you would do NBA or NFL or any other sport, and be able to get interested, And there's plenty enough going on, plenty of wacky, weird things people can learn and get sorted and everything else. But I want to be somewhat of a conduit between the two to be able to hopefully, explain it better to people over there to get them on board.
We'll keep teasing them endlessly. We'll keep teasing them. But we will say that we just love the fans tuning in each and every week, the DMs that we're getting, the questions that you guys are throwing in, getting tagged in Florida Man like endlessly, getting I thought we'd get more negativity, but that's just the cynic in me. But everyone's been, the amount of people that has sent us messages saying that, probably you, less me and the glasses, but how you've helped them with the glasses.
We're all together.
And the like their son or daughter used to not play footy because they couldn't see, and now they're wearing glasses because you're an inspiration and stuff like that. Just spreading the word of that. And the podcast, the fact that it's grown to kind of what it is, and like even the Spotify Wrap, seeing how many people have us in their top 10, top 5, top 1. We had like tons of people with us as their top podcast. It's awesome because it started off as such a, I don't know.
We're just an idea. And it really was. And like you mentioned, I'll double down on it. We're just super grateful for everyone to listen in. Like it's pretty amazing. This is something that we're both kind of passionate about, and just come out of the blue and said, we're going to work together to try to make this as big as possible to put a smile on some people's faces throughout the days, and have a bit of a laugh ourselves, and educate people on the water cooler chat. But it's amazing that we don't exist without people listening. So it's just phenomenal to be where we're at right now, to finish up on a season 1. And don't get me wrong, we still got more to come here. We've got the biggest announcement of the season coming up at the very end of this podcast. Oh, there's a bit of another drop for you.
We've been teasing it for about 4 months. We have been teasing it for
about 4 months. But in all honesty, seriously, I want to say, I know I'm going to beat this to death, but you guys and ladies are the reason that we are doing this, and the reason we're enjoying it so much. And your feedback is amazing, helping out with different voicemails throughout the year, and giving feedback and all that is something that we've enjoyed. Being able to bring this community together, to have a bit of fun, and hopefully put a smile on a few people's faces along the way.
And saying that, we've got the biggest part of our podcast. We got the fan questions, and there were plenty.
Oh yeah,
there was a lot of heartache in the DMs. A lot of people can't believe that we're wrapping up, but we will be back bigger and better than ever. I mean, Mason won't be bigger because he's
physically impossible.
Can't find an elf suit bigger than that, and can't fit him in the van if he keeps growing. But question number 1: how did we handle the new fan base, the podcast fan base? I'll let you jump into this one because no doubt they got to you.
It's just funny, like walking down the street and someone saying, "Oh man, love the pod, keep it up, love the pod." And like that's so cool to me. Like I've been out for drinks and stuff, and people come up to me and say, "You have no idea who I am, but I'll listen to you every week," and it's awesome. It's just so much fun, and have a bit of a laugh. And some of the people you on, I'll learn so much from, and all those kind of things. And it's cool, and hopefully it gives people a bit of a different perspective of myself, yourself. I think a lot of people are probably connected to myself as a Collingwood football player, and they might hate me because I play for Collingwood Football Club, but there's a lot more to me than just that. There's just what I do for a living and playing sport, and hopefully this kind of gives a bit of people an understanding of me away from it, and allows people to hear a bit of a funny side of me and yourself also around this, and it's something that you didn't really expect even doing. So it's kind of cool to see how far you've come, being able to do these these little catch ups with me, and being able to have a chat and have a laugh around these kind of things. And it's a credit to you how much you've been able to do, and people really enjoy it, man. People always like, "Oh dude, Braden, who's he dating? Is he going on a date yet?" People always asking. They're asking about your dating life, Braden. I'm telling you, they're interested.
I've got to do something. I've got to lift.
They want an update.
And another one that we haven't shouted out, but it's different. I feel like we got the Instagram, we got the TikTok, but the YouTubers. The YouTube comment section is fire every week. Whoa. Everyone tunes in. You get long, detailed write-offs on each episode, and like they pull it apart and what different parts they like spoke to them. It's an awesome platform to get around, and you get to see us wearing these Hessian coffins. and I swear to God, like as much as I love you guys, if you don't love this episode and we're sweating our asses off, I don't know, maybe we won't be back next year. So what are your New Year's plans?
New Year's plans. I'm going to New Zealand, going fly fishing out in the mountains.
You know what? Maybe I don't give a shit. Maybe I don't give a shit because you do tons of stuff. You ask me. You ask me.
What are you doing? What are you doing for New Year's?
Nothing.
Yeah. No, you're going on a few dates, Brian. That's what you're doing. You're going to be swiping right. Yeah, right. Yeah. You're going to be swiping right on a lot of females, and you're going to go on a few dates to keep us updated in 2023.
It's not a bad one. I went on a date once on New Year's and saw the fireworks.
Wow, first date.
It wasn't my date. It was my friend and his now wife.
Oh.
They were just dating at the time, and I didn't have a date. So I just went along and kind of just stared at the fireworks and died inside. It was great.
I've been on third wheel many a times, Braden. It's not the greatest.
How are you a third wheel? You're about 20 meters tall.
I'm like a sidecar. I'm not even a wheel.
You're like a trailer, a caravan. They just tow you around. What your top 5 moments for the year?
Oh, top 5. So top 5 moments. I'll start off. So I'll go number 5. We'll start at the bottom. So 5, we'll go traveling around the U.S. in the off season was awesome. Seeing friends, family, being able to have some amazing experiences. Just my life is ridiculous. I find it crazy, and it's a lot of it's due to obviously everything that's happened in Australia. It's been amazing the experience I've had here, and it's led to some amazing opportunities back home that I get to take and make the most of whenever I go back. That'll be number 5. Number 4. It is coming up, it is summer nowadays, and it's kind of the event season and kind of carrying on, the F1, the Australian Open. Like, I love that time of year. And last year I got to experience some cool stuff around that. And that's just kind of one of those things that it's like Melbourne that's the best time of year to be here. It's like summer, it's beautiful out. There's big things going on, worldwide events happening. Like, it is the time to really just soak it up, I feel like.
Let me give it a bit more perspective from the normal person listening along to this podcast. Yep. See, imagine all the things that Mason just said. So the F1, Oz Open, all those massive events. And then just imagine that you get free tickets to all those things. That's where Mason's coming from. So how cool would that be? Wow.
Oh, come on. It's a great experience, mate.
Even if you go to everything.
I bought tickets to Jack Johnson and Ziggy Alberts. It's on Thursday. I bought tickets to that, okay? That was my hard-earned money I spent on, okay?
Hey, have you taken a date to any of these massive events?
No, I haven't. No.
You surely get a plus one.
I always brought my brother, and he said the second you get a girlfriend, I'm going to be fucking furious because I'm not going to be a plus one anymore.
He's been riding that for 30 plus years.
30 plus years. 30 plus years. He's going to be filthy at the female that I end up hopefully dating one day.
And what else?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The third one, we'll go number 3. Number 3, creating this podcast.
Oh, that's nice.
It is very lovely, but this has been so enjoyable for myself, getting into the media game a bit more and, sitting here every single week, being able to release something to everyone to enjoy and to consume. And like I say, building this amazing community has been so awesome. And a massive thank you to you for helping out with this whole thing. It's been a cool experience that we've been talking about for a very long time. So it's great to see it come to fruition and great to see it doing well. And like I said, there's big news at the very end of this. So stay tuned.
We got to number 1 and we didn't even notice.
I know. I see this Spotify. I was like, how good is this? Like, far out.
At the
people
end, Raptor's like, hey, Spotify, congrats on making number 1.
Oh,
we were like, what?
What was that?
But thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's continue doing that. Let's keep, like, share, comment, pass it on to a friend, all that kind of jazz. Next one, we'll go number 2, 11-game winning streak. You talk about Jamie Elliott kicking a goal after the siren. My career, I thought, was in the dumpster. It was a dumpster fire of a career, believe me, but I thought it was out towards the end. The very, very end, I'd milked it dry. And before that 11-game win streak, I really thought, this was going to be the last kind of go around, and I thought I might retire, but was fortunate enough to get an opportunity and make the most of it and get another contract for this year. So that's something it was tough going for a while, but we got through it. Had a great experience from it and was able to win a few games and be able to make finals. And like we had mentioned before, I think like no real expectations and then be able to get to where we're at. It was a great kind of accomplishment for myself and for the club in general.
And it was cool to document it on the podcast. Every week, just another roller coaster up and down.
Oh, but go down by 30 in the first quarter, come back and win by kick.
There wasn't many downs. It was all ups. If you could just do that same thing again next year, just for the podcast, like maybe 20 wins or something. You can't go worse.
Look, I'll be honest. I went to go get my haircut the other day. A few gray hairs fell out. I'm not gonna lie. So I think if we can maybe just get ahead in the first quarter and then continue that for 4 quarters, I'd be happy.
That'd be cool.
But a win's a win, so we'll take it anyway, which way we can get. But I will go number 1 on the biggest thing that happened this year that I enjoyed, and this thing is a bit more personal for myself, but getting citizenship was awesome. Something 8 years in the making. It was, pretty cool to have a country consider yourself one of them. Got to vote for the first time, which was pretty amazing. And it might seem silly, it might just seem like a bit of paperwork and everything else, but for myself, to move yourself from your home country to another country and be able to say you're now a citizen is a massive deal I'm super proud of. And the experience itself at the MCG, it was pretty amazing. Just a full circle kind of moment, being able to get citizenship there and swearing at the place that kind of brought me out here. So that was my number one experience, I think, throughout the whole year. Pretty amazing. And just super, super grateful to be able to do.
And every time you bring it up, I think about it, that it's the first time you signed with the club. We chatted over Skype, and it would have been, I don't know, what, 2014
in my living room.
Yeah. And side note, that video crashed our server and we lost everything except for except for that one video. So I liked you coming in.
Yeah.
We did plenty of stories over our time. I still can't wrap my head around the fact that you didn't know the sport existed. Now you're over here, you're almost 100 games into your career, you're dressed up as an elf sitting in a van in my driveway. Just normal.
Come a long way.
As if you didn't see that coming.
Yeah. You wouldn't have ever expected it.
It was obvious. Man. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And yeah, it was massive. I feel like Melbourne almost stopped for your citizenship ceremony.
There's a bit going on, wasn't there? Mom and Dad were there. It was a very heartfelt moment, I think.
Filthy Phil. When Filthy Phil comes to town, I feel like it's almost like Biden coming to town.
Seriously is. It's the man that stops the nation.
They actually look similar. Just old
dad's
white
a bit younger,
guys.
I'd say. A bit younger and awake.
So you just went through your top 5 moments for the year. Now I think you might have missed one out.
There's a little plus one. We might have been alluding to this whole podcast. Yeah. A big announcement.
Now, we've been alluding to it for the past couple of months, as we said. And yeah, I think it's going to be great. It's good reward for us. It's good reward for the podcast. And it's going to be great for all the listeners out there.
Oh, yeah.
On to a bigger and better 2023. Hit us with the announcement, Mason.
The big announcement we have been teasing for months, I'm saying months, is that we, the Mason Cox Show, are now going to partner with iHeartRadio.
Woo!
Let's go! Now, what does this mean? People might ask. How's this going to affect the audience? Now, this is going to make our podcast better, because we're going to be doing more stuff with the podcast. This means we're going to be invested even more, because we're getting more people on. They always say, if you want to get better, you want to get bigger, you got to bring more people on. You got to grow the audience. You got to grow the people that help you.
Speaking of growing, iHeart is global.
Huge.
They're global.
They're massive around the world. Now, that is one of the things that's going to help. So we're going to have, obviously, the massive resources that iHeartRadio has, which is going to help us in production. It's going to help us in social media. It's going to help us engaging with fans. It's going to help us all around, which is going to make the product even better. So what does it mean for the audience? It means that this great podcast is going to get even better. It's going to get even better, and it's going to be even more extravagant and more ridiculous, to be honest, because that's what we're all about here. But iHeartRadio is now partnering with us, which is so bloody exciting. Not gonna lie. Yes, that's my Aussie coming out. But it's something that we both started this from nothing. We had some amazing people jump on, which is you, the audience, and you've helped us grow. You've helped us get to this point, and now we're partnering with something even bigger to make it even better for you. So hopefully what this means for you as an audience member, someone who's listening in, is that you're going to get a better product. You're going to be even more incentivized to share with all your friends on not the 7 platforms, the 8 platforms, because we have iHeartRadio as part of our platforms now. So as always, like, share, and everything else, but I just want to say a massive thank you, because without you, we wouldn't be in this position to be able to partner with such an amazing company that is iHeartRadio. So a massive thank you, but be very, very, very excited for what's to come. It's an amazing season 1, and it's going to get even better with these people coming season 2.
And our audience will grow, but we will never, ever forget the OGs. That listened along from day dot.
Hell yeah.
The ride or dies. People on YouTube, people in the Instagram DMs, the TikTok haters.
Oh, yeah.
Every kid on TikTok that said, I'm first, or does the GOAT reply, we're going to remember them all.
We're going you guys are the reason we're here.
Yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of the audience. But we did it.
We did
and
it.
We're not finished.
No, we're not.
We're just getting started.
Because we're gonna actually end this podcast with a little bit of love, as we do. And if you're putting your kids to bed, don't worry. We're going to help you with that.
So what we're going to do here is, well, we can't.
I'm nervous about this, Brayden.
We can't dress up like dickheads and not do anything Christmas related. So we had the eggnog. I don't mind it, but it is now.
Question marks. It's now hot.
Yeah, it's now. It's probably a solid. So, what we are going to do is we're going to do our best rendition of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Mason doing the read. I've got a couple of cameos. I'm Santa, so I can't.
Ho, ho, ho.
And I'm going to be jumping in on the sound effects. So
yes, okay.
So this is going to be a fair bit of a production and see if we can do it without stuffing it up. So without further ado.
To close out 2022.
Mason Cox with "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
That's a mouse.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter.
That's a clatter.
Oh. I sprung from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer.
That's the deal.
With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his courses they came, and he whistled and shouted, called them by name.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet and Cupid, on Donna and Blitzen.
To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all.
Far out.
As dry leaves that before the wind hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof.
Can you hear that?
As I drew in my hand and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack.
Sounds so
naughty. He's definitely on the naughty list this year. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a reef. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly.
Oh!
He was chubby and plump, a right old...
Excuse me. You're chubby and plump.
He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf. And I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. Oh, myself. Ah, I'm in this. Woo! Go elf. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stocking, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside on his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. I heard him exclaim, ere he dove out of sight,
Merry Christmas to all!
And to all, a good night. Legit, everyone, though, I just want to say a massive thank you for jumping on the podcast. It's been an amazing year of 2022. It seriously would not be possible without everyone that's listening in. So like, share, comment, as we say, to the 8 platforms. Yes, the 8 platforms. iHeartRadio. What's good? And seriously, y'all, amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are the guys and girls are the reason that we do this, the reason we enjoy it so much, and the reason we are going to continue and be back bigger and better than ever in 2023. So have an amazing, amazing holidays. Enjoy some family time. Hopefully enjoy a bit of the warm weather, the beach, wherever it may be, or wherever part of the world you're listening from. And seriously, we're so thankful for you guys to jump on board. And we're very, very, very excited for what's to come.
See you later.
Peace!